Brent, good to see you. Today we are talking retirement planning and tips for women. It is Women's History Month, and a recent study found that women are far less financially prepared for retirement compared to men. According to TransAmerica, men actually have more than double the retirement savings of women. And of course, there are many reasons why. The earnings gap, women are more likely to be caregivers, and they're more likely to have professional interruptions. But Brent, even if they're not working, they can contribute to an IRA. How does that work?
Yeah, great point. So to start with, usually women do end up joining the workforce. That tends to be more common now where both spouses work, but they do end up usually being the caretaker for the children. So there's a nice long gap in there. Sometimes it's 5 years, sometimes it's 15 to 20 years. And so that is going to disrupt their retirement savings. The other one that we're seeing more and more is women are also taking a step away from work to care for aging parents, whether it's their parents or their spouse's parents. So once again, they have another gap there. And so there's a common misconception that you have to have an employer retirement plan to save for retirement, and that is just not the case. So you've got the traditional IRA and the Roth IRA. As long as your spouse has earnings, you can contribute to those. And then the maximum 7,000 if you're under 50 and 8,000 if you're over 50. So those are both great options depending on income level. For them to save and squirrel away some assets.
Yeah, really good point. So I was surprised to learn 43% of men use a financial advisor, only 34% of women do. But working with an advisor can help women for so many reasons. Explain how.
Sure. So roughly working with a financial advisor, according to Vanguard, you can increase your earnings by 3% just by working with a financial advisor. So I'm not surprised that women use advisors less, and it's also a couple reasons. The men usually run the household finances. I think that is getting less and less, and it's kind of equaling out a little bit. But so that may be one reason why men use a financial advisor. But I think the main benefit is, let's say you have a couple who's married 50 years and the husband took care of all the assets, all the finances, all the investments, and then statistically he passes first, which is very common. That is where a major benefit can be for working with a financial advisor, because the widow may not have all the knowledge to handle $1 million portfolio or something like that. So it is a great idea to work with a coach, a financial advisor.
And then that brings us to our last stat. 33% of women do not have a retirement strategy versus 18% of men. And as your example just, illustrated, Brent, women live longer than men. They need a plan that accounts for longevity.
Correct. So once again, it's good that we're seeing women out there getting these financial advisors and putting these plans in place, because it could not be more important. A good example, my wife, Kim, her grandma lived 35 years past her husband passing.
Wow.
And so that longevity, 35 years, that's longer than a lot of people's retirements, let alone, being widowed. So you need to have a plan in place that's going to account for that longevity, and just make sure that you're covered and you don't have to be reliant, on the next generation to care for you.
So many important reasons to have a conversation with a professional. And Brent, if somebody wants to contact you or Kim, what's the best way to reach you?
614-430-8383. Becca will get you on one of the calendars, or go to young-wm.com and we'll get you scheduled.
All right, Brent, thank you.
Thank you.